Here's something important. Crying easily can sometimes be linked to anxiety or depression. If someone feels constantly overwhelmed, small triggers can lead to tears. In that case, it's less about sensitivity and more about emotional exhaustion. When your emotional battery is low, everything feels heavier. So, if crying feels uncontrollable or comes with hopelessness, it might be worth talking to a therapist. Not because something is wrong, but because support helps. Now let's flip the script for a second. People who cry easily often have incredible strengths. They tend to be compassionate friends. They notice subtle emotional shifts in others. They're usually authentic. What you see is what you get. They're not great at faking indifference. If they care, you'll know. If they're hurt, you'll see it. They also tend to experience joy intensely. Weddings, they're crying. Surprise parties, crying. A friend achieving their dream, definitely crying. Their tears aren't just about sadness, they're about being moved. And that ability to be moved by life. That's kind of beautiful, but yeah, it's not always easy. Society doesn't always reward emotional expressiveness. Easy criers might feel embarrassed, especially in professional settings. They might worry people won't take them seriously. That fear can create a cycle. They try to hold it in, feel more pressure, and then cry even more. So, what can help? For starters, understanding your triggers. Are you crying because you're hurt, overwhelmed, tired, hungry? Yes, that matters. Emotional awareness gives you a little more control. Breathing techniques can help calm the nervous system before tears spill over. Grounding exercises, like focusing on physical sensations, can also bring you back to center. But here's the thing. The goal isn't to become someone who never cries. The goal is to feel in charge of your emotions instead of feeling hijacked by them. If you're someone who cries easily, try reframing it. Instead of "I'm too sensitive," think "I process emotions deeply." Instead of "I'm weak," think "I'm emotionally responsive." Language changes how you see yourself. And if you know someone who cries easily, don't mock them. Don't tell them to calm down or it's not a big deal. For them, it is a big deal. Validation goes a long way. A simple "I get it" can mean everything. At the end of the day, crying is just a human response. It's not a flaw. It's not a personality defect. It's a sign that something matters. In a world where a lot of people numb themselves out, feeling deeply is actually kind of brave. So the next time your eyes well up during a movie, or in the middle of an argument, or because someone said something unexpectedly kind, maybe don't judge yourself so fast. Maybe that tear says more about your capacity to care than any tough facade ever could, and honestly, in a world that could use a little more empathy, maybe the people who cry easily are exactly the ones we need. Ever met someone who tears up during a random commercial? Or maybe that someone is you. Like you're just chilling, watching a movie, and boom, your eyes are suddenly full, your throat tight, and you're pretending you just yawned. If that sounds familiar, stick with me. Because people who cry easily are way more interesting and powerful than most folks realize. First things first, crying easily doesn't mean you're weak. Honestly, that whole "strong people don't cry" idea is outdated. People who cry fast usually feel things fast. Their emotional system is kind of like having the volume turned up. When something hits, it really hits. Joy feels bigger. Sadness feels deeper. Even frustration can feel overwhelming. A lot of people who cry easily are what psychologists call highly sensitive. That doesn't mean dramatic. It means their nervous system reacts more intensely to emotional and sensory stuff. A harsh tone, a touching story, someone else's pain, it all lands harder. It's like their emotional radar is super sharp. Empathy is a huge piece of this. Many easy criers are deeply empathetic. When they see someone struggling, they don't just understand it in their head, they feel it in their body, that tight chest, that lump in the throat. That's empathy in action. Their brain mirrors what the other person is going through. So yeah, when they cry over someone else's pain, it's not for attention. It's because they're wired to connect. Now let's talk about stress. Some people cry not because they're too emotional, but because their system gets overloaded fast. Crying becomes a pressure release valve. Think of it like your brain saying, okay, that's enough, we need to let some of this out, and honestly, that's kind of healthy. Crying can lower stress hormones and calm the nervous system. So, in a weird way, it's self-regulation. There's also the personality angle. People who are open, creative, or introspective tend to cry more easily. They spend a lot of time thinking, imagining, reflecting. So, when something emotional happens, they don't just brush it off, they process it deeply. A song isn't just a song, it's a memory. A scene isn't just a scene. It's a whole emotional experience. Childhood plays a role too. If someone grew up in an environment where emotions were allowed or even intense, they might be more comfortable expressing tears. On the flip side, sometimes people who weren't allowed to express feelings as kids end up crying easily later in life because those emotions never got properly processed. They're still sitting there, close to the surface. Hormones matter as well. Some people are just biologically more prone to tears. Hormonal shifts, especially in women, can make emotions feel closer to the edge. But it's not just about gender. Anyone's body chemistry can influence how quickly tears show up.